To start our programme off, we are meeting a local Christian to talk about his beliefs of life after death. Here we are with the man himself, Oscar Heaney, to explain. Oscar, what can you tell us about the Christian's belief?
So, having gone to church a lot, I gained insight into the beliefs of the Christians. One of the most interesting topics, in my opinion, was life after death. Us Christians believe that when we die, there is an afterlife. Despite the fact we are buried or cremated, our soul lives on and is raised to a new life by God. Jesus' resurrection gives hope to Christians in the impending doom of death. It is evidence that if you follow his teaching, you shall live on in the afterlife. As accounted by John in verse 11, page 25, Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even though he dies."
So now we have the basics down, can you tell us more about a Christian's experience in the afterlife?
Ah, yes. So we believe God will treat people in the afterlife according to how they lived on earth. Heaven is rarely described in the Bible, so us Christians have various ideas of it. Some of us believe it is a physical place where our body goes after death, whereas others believe our soul lives on and heaven is a state of being united with God.
Can you tell us about hell?
Hell? Oh, the Bible is even less specific about hell. So we all have very mixed ideas of it. Personally, I think that it is a place of suffering that's separated from God, but others believe it is a spiritual state of being separated from God for eternity.
We are nearly out of time, but to end this segment of the programme, could you tell us about Christian death rites?
My favourite topic, death rites. So when us Christians die, we either bury each other or cremate each other. But cremating, in my opinion, destroys the person's soul.
I'm going to have to stop you there, thank you. Now over to Ben, who is speaking to a man known as a thanatologist, devoting his life to the research of life after death.
Death is a depressingly inevitable consequence of life, but now scientists believe they may have found some light at the end of the tunnel. We are about to travel to the Akigara forest to meet a local thanatologist who is currently doing a study there. Thanatology is the study into life after death, and Japan's suicide forest is a hotspot for research. Right, I'll shout a bit.
Don't shout.
I'll just talk a bit louder.
Just talk a bit.
Right. Well, I have now arrived in the forest and I'm joined by Christianoku.
Yes.
So, what can you tell us about your research into this mysterious forest?
Aekigahara is a very dense forest on the northwest side of Mount Fuji. It is also called Jukai, Sea of Trees, because if you look at the forest from up high, it looks like a big wave. There's a commonly held belief, once you go into Aekigahara, you can never get out and no one can find you. This is not true, since there are hiking paths that go through it, and obviously people who get lost or kill themselves do get found. But it is a dark, dense, large forest, so you could hide yourself to do your thing there for a while. The location on the face of Mount Fuji is somewhat significant too, since Mount Fuji is one of the most sacred mountains in Japan. In Japanese culture, many mountains are revered and given a kind of demigod status. Apparently, the magnetic iron in the volcanic rock that is prevalent in the area, Mount Fuji is still an active volcano, makes your compass act up so that once you are lost, you will never find your way. This is a myth also. The rocks will slightly change your compass, but not enough to make you lose your direction. But as you can see, it is an area with lots of myths and legends about it, which probably makes it attractive for some people contemplating ending it all.
Wow, that was some deep stuff you have researched, Christianoku. But we should leave you now because I read somewhere that the dead awaken at night. Thank you for your time.